If you ever wondered why I only show this side of my art studio, well, it's because this side is a complete mess. Hello guys, welcome to my channel and to a little art studio slash sewing space organization video. As you might remember, last year I organized this drawer over here and it is still pretty organized. Well, at least I know where I find the stuff I need. However, we have a little situation going on over here. And yes, that's Pikachu. So I wish I was one of these super organized people whose home always looks perfect and on fleek, but I am not, apparently. I am more I clutter everything until I can't stand the situation anymore and then cleaning it up type of person. And we've reached the point where I need to clean up desperately. And well, this is Fabric Stash 1, Fabric Stash 2, kind of my warehouse section for my Etsy shop. Like, this is screen printing stuff, bags, and over here is a box full of art supplies. And over there is my near and dear sewing kit that I inherited from my grandma. And well, without further ado, I would say let's get started. So this is the problematic corner that I will tackle in this video. However, it's not the only problematic corner I have here. This is a whole different story, but I don't think I'll get to that in this video. However, if you're interested, this is where I store my painted vinyl records, some crafting stuff, and stuff that I need for my printer or hard drives or whatever. There are old sketchbooks and stuff. And this is basically Cricut and shipping stuff for my Etsy shop. And up here are some random bits and bobs that don't fit in anywhere else, like some more Cricut foils and yarns and, well, some wood for painting. Well, now you know why I usually only show this side of my art studio, because it's the only area that I managed to keep somewhat clean and tidy, and this area is just a mess. A huge mess, but we'll get that organized now. So first of all, I made some space and moved this big box full of tote bags out of the way. I sell hand-printed tote bags in my Etsy shop, so I got quite a few of them. And behind this big box, there comes a huge pile of fabric into view. And as you've probably seen, there's another big pile of fabric on the right. There will be a lot of sewing supplies organization in this video before we get into the art supplies, so I'll add timestamps in the description so you can jump right to the art supply section if you prefer. First of all, even if you sew a lot, you definitely don't need as much fabric as I have here. I just happened to come across pretty good deals at local fabric markets, so I stocked up for basically every possible occasion. Also, I'm still learning a lot. I would probably call myself an advanced beginner, so not every project works out as well as I had hoped it would. So I like to buy some more fabric to have enough to start a project all over again and learn from my mistakes. Since I kinda lost track of the contents of my fabric stash, I thought it would be wise to sort the fabric into various smaller piles. Like a pile for knit fabric, woven fabric that's meant for clothing, woven fabric that's meant for decoration, and so on and so forth. It might seem like I just hoard random fabric, but I actually rarely buy fabric without any specific project in mind. It's just that I have a lot of projects in my mind simultaneously, so that kinda adds up. And this pile was mostly woven fabric for different kinds of accessories. Now to the bigger pile. This pile contains everything from random fabric that I got in a mystery box at a local fabric store to very pretty, carefully selected fabric. On top of everything, there are some of my hand-printed tote bags where the print didn't turn out that well, because I want my customers to receive only tote bags with perfect prints, so I keep those with minor faulty prints for myself or give them to friends and family. Next up, we have some knit fabric that I want to use for t-shirts and tank tops. And then there's a towel where one of the seams is coming apart. Honestly, this towel has been sitting here for a long time because even though it's a quick fix, I just ignored it for a while because other projects were more interesting. I am very excited for this olive green knit fabric because it will be the first time that I'm working with this kind of fabric. It's not stretchy at all, and I want to use it for a rather oversized cardigan. By the way, the color looks much nicer in real life than on camera. And in between all this different fabric, there are my first attempts at screen printing. I recently started teaching myself how to do screen prints, and because I didn't want to waste any tote bags on practicing, I just grabbed some fabric scraps. Then there's stuff like wadding, my Vario creative tool, not sponsored, I just think it makes life so much easier, some zippers, and a lot more. And next up, there is a very pretty fabric that just had to come home with me. I'm not sure yet what I'll use it for, but I'm thinking maybe a t-shirt with sheer sleeves or something like that. I decided to take one of the tote bags and fill it up with all the fabric scraps that were too small for proper projects. Like the weird scraps that are dangling from the sides of your fabric after you've cut your pattern pieces. I would say that this pile mainly consisted of fabric for clothing, and I divided it into the categories fabric that I will use in the near future because I know exactly what I want to do with it and only need to cut out the pattern pieces. And I probably won't use this fabric within the next few weeks because I haven't decided on a project yet. I wanted to keep the fabric of the former category close to my sewing machine, so it's ready to grab as soon as I start the projects. Here's a quick overview of already planned projects. If you were wondering why I collected the fabric scraps in the tote bag, it's because my actual scrap fabric box is full. I am planning on using the scraps to fill another sewing project, like a poof or something, so it's going to be a little zero waste project. Then there's this box with different small leftover pieces of fabric that are still big enough for some smaller projects though. Also, there are some regular sized pieces of fabric. And here is the biggest box by far, which contains a lot of ugly fabric that I use for testing new patterns, and there was a lot more scrap fabric. But at some point I had pre-organized all the fabric in a few piles. So I basically formed 6 different piles of fabric, and this one on the right is knit fabric and woven fabric for like specific projects I have in mind that I want to start within the next, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks. Those are woven fabrics for which I don't have a specific project in mind. Same goes here. However, these are woven fabrics for like bags and stuff. And this is woven fabric for like garments. And this is by far the biggest pile. These are all knit fabrics for clothing, and I don't have a specific project for those in mind yet. And then we have this pile, which is basically scrap fabric and fabric that I don't particularly like and got in mystery boxes and stuff. So this is purely for testing. And the last pile is some miscellaneous stuff like zippers and wadding and interfacing. And yeah, it didn't fit any of the other piles, so I made a separate one. So now that all the piles are organized by theme, I think the situation isn't too bad. Like, this pile will be gone within the next 2 weeks or so, and this pile will probably get smaller over time because I have a lot of sewing patterns in stock that I want to try, and there's always stuff that I need to test, so this pile will also get a lot smaller, and well, then there's not much left. So I decided to put all the testing fabrics back in this black box because that's where I can grab them pretty easily. And I'm putting the fabrics that I plan on working with in the near future right on top, so I can grab them whenever I'm ready. So makes only 4 piles that have to go somewhere else. And I think this pile will go into my closet since it kind of makes sense to me personally, because this is fabric for clothing. In my closet there are clothes, so where else should I put it? This one might go there as well, meaning I'm left with this, and I'm pretty confident that I will find a place for it in my office. Next up is the box you've probably all been waiting for and might even know already. I won the Upgrade Art Challenge a while ago and got this huge box full of art supplies, and I just had it sitting right here and took the art supplies right from the box when I needed them, but I think it's about time to put them in the art supplies drawer. I will only go very briefly over the materials in this box because there is a whole video about it on my channel where I show all the materials in depth, so definitely check that out if you'd like to have a closer look. In this box came a lot of paper pads and sketchbooks, as well as a big box with pencils, markers and paints of all kinds. I was so overwhelmed when I opened it and saw what Upgrade included here, because the sheer amount of art supplies is insane. I think I won't have to go shopping for art supplies in a long time. I started by grouping the various art supplies by medium, like watercolor, acrylic paint, acrylic markers, dry media, fine liners, you name it. My art supply drawer is actually also organized by medium. I have one drawer for dry media like colored pencils or charcoal, and I also put my writing tools in there like regular pencils, ballpoint pens or fine liners. Then there's the drawer for all sorts of markers, so basically acrylic markers, alcohol markers and Sharpies. There's only one kind of markers that I don't keep in there, and that's watercolor markers, because I keep those in the watercolor, gouache and ink drawer. I also keep some random paints in there, like textile paint or glass paint. And then there's another drawer for acrylic painting and oil painting. I used this opportunity to reorganize the drawers a little bit before adding the new art supplies, because it got a little bit chaotic in the drawers over time, but it wasn't too bad. However, then motivation hit me, and as I organized the paper pads in piles, I decided to organize my paper drawers as well. I think I haven't shown these in a video before, but they are full to the brim and desperately needed some organizing. And I'm super happy with the result. I also grouped the paper by the medium it's suitable for, and as you can see, everything fits in, which is a miracle. And here's the final result. There are still some boxes in front of the shelves that I left there intentionally, because they hold the stuff I'll use for the next sewing projects, so I want them to be pretty accessible, but you can finally see the floor again, which is a huge success. Let me know in the comments if your art space is always nice and tidy, or also complete chaos from time to time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more art content. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!